it was really amazing that it was a 7-2 decision.
Yeah.
So one of the more liberal judges in Kegan, and
Yeah.
you know, whenever we were actually sitting in there watching the process go through, my wife, surprisingly, whenever I called her, she said, "Kegan went with you," didn't she? And it was, she said, I could read her face, and the state, whenever they were presenting their case, were not. She had a look that she wasn't accepting it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, did you ever think you'd have to go to the Supreme Court to get the Supreme Court to say that a federal candidate can have
standing,
have standing to sue over its regulations?
You know, whenever we heard that the ruling of not having standing was strange. I mean, you don't want to agree. You might not agree with us on the case on the 14 days. You can the actual true
theory,
issues of the case. But as far as having standing, who does have standing?
Well, it's funny because for the first 250 years, it was really a non-event, right? Obviously, candidates could have sue over the regulations affecting their election, and it really wasn't until 2020 it became an issue. And then since 2020, there's been all of this litany of bad rulings from courts that have said that. And so this case today, sort of once and for all, you allowing us to represent you for 4 years.
Yes.
After losing for 4 years, representing you for 4 years, and we finally get this ruling today. It's, you know, the way we've just talked about it internally, this is the rough end of plumbing. It's not interesting, it's sort of difficult, it's tedious, but you have to have it, right? We can't do election integrity suits without
having some. You can't say the person doesn't have standing if they're the person on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, you're affected financially, you're affected possibly in the vote tallies, all of those things, and you're going to have someone there to do the oversight of those votes coming in. And now we can move forward and actually hear the case. And my belief is that, of course, you don't know what the judges are going to do, but I believe we've got about as good a case as anything as far as. And then remember this: if ours goes, that's the case of Mississippi as well. That one's actually hasn't been ruled in the Supreme Court, but it's being heard away.
It'll be heard in 2 months. That's our case. Your case was the first one, right? And so your case kicked this off, and because of that, other clients were interested in it, and so that allowed us to sort of get momentum to do this. And so now we haven't gotten to the merits. The merits being the actual why can ballots come in 14 days after election day, but
non-postmark.
Yeah, or any of them, right?
Right.
The ballots there has to be a cutoff. Baseball games have 9 innings. Football games have 4 quarters.
And I think it's important for your listeners to know and understand that prior to the law that was passed in the state of Illinois that forced this issue, and I was a military guy, you could vote when you were in the military. There was a process. There's a process set up federally that says 45 days prior to the election, you are sent a ballot, then you can have the opportunity to vote in the military. And that's anywhere in the world. And it wasn't a problem. But now all of a sudden they did this, and it just...
Yeah, there's a lot of, critiquing and criticisms that this is going to limit military voting.
Won't limit to...
It will not. If a military serviceman or woman request a ballot within time, they are guaranteed to get it 45 days before the election. And if they don't, then we can sue over that. And we have sued over that. So
my first vote of my life was for Ronald Reagan from Marine Corps Base 29 Palms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was 19 years old and I was in Marine Corps Base 29 Palms and sent my vote in.
Yeah, yeah. And
guess what? It got counted.
It was uneventful, right? And, it's just sort of, it's somehow with more technology and more ability, we somehow become less capable of getting ballots in on time. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, quite often when a lot of these bills get pushed forward, they don't give the respect to the voter that the voter deserves.
Yeah.
The voter, if you have a passion to be involved in the process, you're going to have the opportunity to vote.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that's sort of funny is that the polling on Election Day deadlines polls at 80%. So it's I defy you to find any issue in America where people agree at an 80% rate. There's not a lot of them, right? And so, I think everybody sees how this can be open to corruption or undermining elections. And so I think it'll be, finally get this resolved and explain why this can happen. Hopefully the court will strike it down and stop it from happening.
Right.
But at least explain to the American public and the voters of Illinois why we need to operate our elections like a banana republic, where you can keep counting ballots, keep receiving ballots until you get the result you want. It's crazy.
And yeah, that's that. Well, and
I don't want to get you spun up.
Well, if we start talking about voter fraud, we can name the counties that have the most voter fraud, and magically votes come up from the basement.
Yeah.
And you know, and one county I know that years ago, they always kept the ballot boxes on the back of the fire trucks at the fire station, and just about polls were about ready to close, there were a fire call, and they got hauled away. And that was in the state of Illinois.
I won't ask you which fire station.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.